People always say London is expensive, but I don't think I clocked how expensive they meant when they said expensive. I'm currently staying with my boyfriend's family in the south of England in Winchester. Now, it takes about an hour on the train to get from Winchester into London, where I'm working. Individual train tickets are quite expensive, but I was like, oh, I'll buy a monthly pass. A monthly pass basically means for the next 30 days, I can catch the train from Winchester to London whenever I want. I can get on any train. I can go unlimited amount of times, right? So it's good value. I want you to have a think. 1 hour train ride, how much would you expect that to cost? I'll wait. For 1 month, 30 days of travel to be able to go to and from London, it was £645. That's like 1,340 AUD. I may as well be paying rent at that point. Like, sorry, is that not insane? Anyway, this Aperol Spritz also cost £12.50. That's $26. I honestly ought not to leave the house.
Monaco is cheaper than the UK. My husband was watching the Formula One and we were talking about Monaco. He's been, I haven't. And I said that I'd love to go. And he's like, the thing is, babe, like everything is just so expensive out there. Like you wouldn't believe it. Like a round of drinks, you literally just wouldn't be able to afford it. Okay, then babe, put up a price list. He hadn't been for a while, but he put up like the current typical prices. And he was like, look at this. A can of Coke will be around €9 and a cappuccino is like €3-4. I was like, babe, yesterday I bought the kids pick a mix each and it was literally £15. Last weekend I got the kids an ice cream each and I had a coffee and he had a Coke and it was like £25. I used to be able to like eat out for £25. Now you can't even get ice creams in a drink. Like seriously, Monaco looks like a Sun 950 holiday compared to going out in the UK right now. What in the cosy lives is that all about? I actually think I'd be better off going to Monaco. Get more for your money over there. When I was talking to my sister, she lives in America, she was telling me her Starbucks order for her and her daughter. And I was like, babe, like that is like £30 over here. And she was like, no, it is not. So we compared the prices of her Starbucks versus our Starbucks. Ours are extortionate. And McDonald's prices are completely different. Her McDonald's are so much cheaper than ours. And that's not just because of the currency. Like if you look at it like for like. Remember when Happy Meals were $1.99? Husband still to this day thinks that a Big Mac meal was £2.89. What in the millennial?
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And like, wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. My council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually. My energy bills, yeah, okay, I pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially, is really, really difficult to be a single person. And I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
People are spending less money on takeaways for the first time since lockdown as fast food sales have plummeted. Check this out. Expenditure on deliveries and fast food dropped at 0.2% for the first time since 2020 in lockdown. The dip comes after multiple fast food outlets such as McDonald's, Pizza Hut and KFC have reported a dip in their sales. Research by Barclaycard suggested that 54% of people in the UK are cutting down on takeaways due to the cost of living crisis. The Office for National Statistics reported that an Indian takeaway is 5% more expensive than it was that of a year ago. Higher energy costs and extortionate staff wages means that takeaways and deliveries have to increase the prices onto the customer. More and more people are becoming very cautious about what they spend, especially when it comes to takeaways, and we've even seen a huge phenomenon on social media with fakeaways where Brits are now making their own takeaways at home to save money. So people, let me know your thoughts on this one. Can you still afford a takeaway? Do you still eat out or eat at restaurants or takeaways? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Is anyone else fed up with this shitty country? Like, and the cost of living? The fuck is going on? I don't know anyone that isn't struggling at the moment, and is it actually a joke? It's a joke. Like, I work full time. I work 8 till 5, 5 days a week. I pick up weekend work and work in a bar. My boyfriend works full time, picks up weekend work, works in the evenings. Like, and yet we've got a week and a half left till payday, and I'm worried about how the fuck I'm going to feed us. Like, how are we going to feed ourselves? Sorry, what? I've just had to spend my last money choosing between feeding myself and my dogs. Obviously, I fed my dogs. Got them. Harringtons. What the fuck? Like, I just want to go and be able to like feed myself and not stress about it, and like not worry about how I'm going to get to work. I already have put in to HR to work from home twice a week because I can't afford to drive to the office 5 days a week. Like, I rent a house that's only a 2-bedroom small town like terrace house. I don't own my house. My car I've had for like 8 years, it's literally falling apart. It's done 200,000 miles. I can't afford to fix it. Like, this is going to go kaput on me soon. Then I'm well fucked. Now what the fuck am I going to do then? Because HR aren't going to approve 5 days a week from home. Like, what the fuck is going on? I just want to do girly things and like get my fucking nails done, and I can't because I've got to like worry about getting a loaf of fucking bread and a pint of milk and my dog food. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't go on holiday. I've not been abroad for like 7 years, and even the last holiday I went on, my parents paid for it because it was like a family holiday when I was 21. I'm 28 now. I've not been abroad since. I haven't even been away for a weekend anywhere in like England because I can't afford to. Like, I don't know. Anyone else just fed up with it? Like, I want to move abroad now, but I can't move abroad because Muggins here can't afford a fucking flight abroad, let alone flying all of our shit out as well. Someone's got to do something. This country is a fucking joke. I don't know anyone that isn't fucking struggling. What the hell? I don't know. If Keir Starmer sees this, you're a fucking knob. Suck your mum. Oh, I just dropped my phone as well.
Why is the UK sleeping on this? Why are people in the UK complaining about the cost of living, complaining about living paycheck to paycheck, complaining about the fact that they are slogging their bollocks off, being burnt out, working their 9 to 5 and not being paid enough, but everyone is still sleeping on there?
I couldn't agree with this more. What are we doing? We're getting squeezed from every angle. Cost of living's insane, right? The average salary is just under 40k a year. That will barely scrape a working class lifestyle. It's called the grind because it wears you down, and you're still barely able to make ends meet, and yet we just take it. Why? If you're still relying on your income in 2025, you're setting yourself up to fail. Everything's going up. Bills, food, interest rates, and that there's no help coming. Yeah, complaining won't fix it. The only way out is to upskill and invest. Like, this is your wake-up call. Make your money work for you, or you're just going to keep on getting squeezed. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Start building. Take control of your future before it's too late.
Isn't it crazy that we work full-time on the fact that we can't even afford to buy our own place? Like, I work 40 hours a week. And I pay taxes, you know, I do the right thing. I've been to uni, worked really hard. I'm in a job that, you know, that's well respected, but it just seems to be like, no matter how much you like try and, you know, work yourself up the ladder or how much you try to save, it doesn't seem to be enough. Like, the average deposit is around, I believe it's around 20 grand. And then that's like almost my uni salary. Like, how on earth am I supposed to raise that amount of money? Unless, like, I move up, you know, to become a manager. But I don't want to become a manager because it's not worth the stress and it's literally not really worth the pay.
Sorry, how did I just spend £35 on reduced food? I always come to Sainsbury's because they have really good options for the reduced. Got tea for tonight and tea for tomorrow night. But what? 35 quid! I don't have 35 quid. I actually hate my life. I can't believe I spent 35 quid. And then now we're going to go and spend another 60 quid on fuel.
Yikes.
What side's the fuel?
On your side.
But on a serious note, like, how are things so expensive? Like, how are people, like... I genuinely want to ask whoever's in charge of, like, just normal pay and then maternity pay, where they're getting the cost of living from, because it is costing us to live a lot. And it is so stressful. My boyfriend literally works 5 days a week and he does 9 hours every day. 9, 18, 27, 26, 45. It's 45 hours a week and maternity pay, and we still can't afford to live. Some people need speaking to.
So, Ryan, what you're saying is that hard-working, full-time working people who are giving up 40, 50, maybe more hours a week should go without their hobbies and luxuries just to go to work and pay taxes and be able to eat. Is that what you're saying? That, people that have gone through school, college, university, thought that they're going to get a good job, maybe they've fallen on some hard times, happens to all of us at some point, that those people don't deserve to have luxuries in life. They just need to rein it back in. That, all of their years of experience, hard graft, the things that they have been spending all their time up until this point in their life working towards, in order to show the fruits of their labours, so just stop complaining. Is that what you're telling me? And that it's okay to see millions and billions of pounds being made by shareholders of companies that are providing people with their basic essential services and supplies for just living a basic life. That's okay for them to carry on making extortionate profits year on year, and no one's doing anything about it. But the rest of us are supposed to stop complaining. But it's okay for those people to go and have their hobbies and luxuries and, fast cars, holidays, probably a boat. Who knows what they spend their money on? They're not us. Whereas we just need to get, happy with having some smart price shopping and maybe going out for a meal once a year on your birthday. Is that what you're saying? I just want to make sure I'm getting it right.
Anyone else just so stressed out about how much money they earn versus how expensive life is? Because I am looking at my income, and don't get me wrong, I've got a good salary, for my age, but I'm looking at my income and I'm looking at my outgoings and I'm like, I just don't know how this is sustainable for the future. If things are going to increase in price and wages are going to stay where they are, I just feel so hopeless. And I spoke about it in a recent video about how I don't think I'll be able to afford a house. The idea of being able to save up for a deposit on the salary that I'm on with my partner, I'm so hopeless. And it just makes me really down about putting in so much effort into your career, trying to climb the corporate ladder, to be like, do you know what? I can't even afford to just go on holiday. And that is something that I really, really thought I could just be able to do with the money that I was going to be earning at this age. And it's no, good luck. It's just really overwhelming to look at the future and think, what am I doing all this for? If on a salary that I'm on now, if I can't afford a house now, and houses are only going to get more expensive, I'm it just makes you feel so hopeless. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels like that, but yeah, not fun.
Creative capitalism is ruining everything. Everything we buy, shitty. Every experience we pay for, awful. All because 10 guys at the top of every company want to buy their 6th vacation home. Can't buy decent clothes, they're all made of literal plastic. Can't go to a concert, we have to make sure the CEO of Ticketmaster's great-great-great-grandchild never has to work a day in his life. If you can afford to go on vacation, you have to bookend it with the 2 most miserable days of your entire life, sitting like this on an airplane for 3, 4, 10 hours after you paid $1,000. Can't buy a single item of food that isn't going to give you cancer one day. Can't afford to put your kid in daycare. Can't afford to stay home. Cannot do a Google search without trusting that what it gives you is not just something someone paid to put in front of you. I know capitalism is not new, but it feels new. The speed at which everything we do, every interaction we have, every experience we have, everything we buy is being made so incredibly worse just for everyone because of greedy people at the top.
Every food company employs psychologists and chemists. in the food industry. Why do they do that? I'll tell you. Because they're putting additives in the food to make it, they've used psychologists to understand how people get hooked on things. And the chemists work out what to put in as food additives to make them basically addictive. And that, of course, makes things more sellable, and it makes people more unhealthy. So, yeah, it is about time that we stand up as a nation, as a people, and start fighting back. And that just goes to the heart of everything I say.
55% of businesses in the UK say they're going to raise prices in the next 3 months, which is up from 39%, which we saw last year. Now, the government in the October budget increased national insurance contributions for employers, which is going to raise £25 billion. And that is essentially what a lot of businesses are saying their concerns are now. 63% of businesses are saying that their main concern is rising taxes. But it's not just rising taxes, it's obviously rising prices. Businesses are getting rising prices. Consumers are seeing rising prices. And for businesses, that means they're going to, cut back on investment. Inflation is continuing to squeeze both consumers and companies. And the Bank of England is caught in this balancing act trying to manage financial markets because they expect a big interest rate cut this year. But on the other side, there's inflationary pressures. So they have to keep interest rates relatively high. There's conflict in the Middle East, which contributes to, those worries as well. So they have to manage expectations. So what does that mean for us as consumers? Essentially, we're being told to anticipate or at least expect higher prices and potentially fewer job opportunities if businesses are cutting back on investment, because businesses are massively struggling to navigate this whole environment. A lot of eyes will now be on the government and the Bank of England to see if they can balance things and get things back to a good point while also addressing inflation. So I'd like to know, what are your thoughts? What do you think needs to be done now, and how should the government respond? And if you don't know me, my name's Joss, and I help Gen Z understand business and economics to maximise their future.
You're not being asset stripped by BlackRock. You're not being asset stripped by Qataris or sovereign wealth funds. I know I often say that, but the truth is you never own the assets in the first place. 1% of the UK population owns 50% of the land. 30% of the UK land is owned by existing aristocracy. And so often we bemoan inward foreign investment, and yes, it does increase asset prices beyond what the local population can afford, but we never own the assets in the first place. So what would happen if we were to introduce legislation which quite blanketly blocked attempts to hand down wealth in generations, or a certain amount, let's say cap at £1 million, cap at 10 million quid, and anything else beyond that was redistributed, went back to the state for redistribution? The hope obviously would be that the government could invest into these assets they were effectively taking through taxation as people passed away, and create genuine benefit for people. Let's just assume that that can happen. But at the very least, what it would cause is a redistribution of wealth in every single generation. But of course, that would require the buy-in of the general population to really close all the loopholes around inheritance tax.
Trigger warning. This will make you choke on your coffee this morning. Guaranteed. I thought the UK had no money. I thought we were skint. I thought we were really, in dire straits, like the black hole that the Keir Starmer keeps talking about, left with this terrible deficit and no money. Listen to this. Excuse me. I've just been choking. This is what Keir Starmer has awarded in our taxpayers' money since he's been in government. Ukraine, 235 million. Ethiopia, 225 million. Afghanistan, 171 million. Syria, 160 million. Yemen, 144 million. Somalia, 143 million. Sudan, 130. I mean, I could go on. Palestine, Nigeria, Congo. This one, World Health Organization. Yeah, think about that. 310 million. 310 million to the people that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, all about that. Jabby, jabby. Pakistan, 100, I mean, it just goes on. Kenya, Bangladesh. I thought we didn't have any money. Maybe that's why we got no money. Is it not time to start spending it on us? Schools, hospitals, mental health. I'm flabbergasted. Literally cannot believe the amount of money he's sending to other countries. What about us? England. Our money should be spent on us.
Oh,